multinational enterprise operates in several different countries apart from their home nations. The decision of going global is motivated by the huge opportunities for growing businesses by exploring different markets abroad. When entering one nation, companies need the acknowledgement of the member state's sovereignty before conducting a business to have a better consensus and cooperation regarding the employment and restriction barriers.
Mobile industry analysis with the pistol. Here are the political issues affecting the industry, which are carbon emission regulations. For example, automobile manufacturers must keep emission under a single limit to stay in a business. And safety regulations to ensure passenger safety. Next is economic factors that may affect the automobile industry, such as COVID-19 pandemic, where automobile manufacturers saw a decline in sales because of such economic reasons, and growing disposable incomes, which increase the demand for automobiles. The social factor that could affect the industry is driving trend, where consumer needs are rapidly evolving into fresh forms, and global automakers are banding together to stay relevant. The automotive industry company can be affected by several technological challenges, including self-driving cars and safe transportation. In the automobile sector, there are several legal difficulties that might affect business, which is intellectual property rights. For instance, Chinese automaker Geely has manufactured several strangely similar clones of Rolls-Royce Phantom, resulting in considerable confusion. Lastly, the automotive sector can use the pistol study to identify environmental issues that could have an influence on the industry. Air pollution and carbon emissions are serious problems for the automobile sector.
The effect of globalization on Honda and Proton in automotive industry. Globalization has some advantage for foreign direct investment. Host country has experienced rapid economic growth and welcome foreign direct investment. And that vehicles are typically developed with common underbody platform. Trend towards global vehicle body platform assembly capacity and skill might be built to be more generic or global. Next, the exchange of technology, because innovation has become a critical issue for our industry to maintain a competitive advantage in the market. Positive and negative impact of globalization on the Honda and Japan. Competition. Globalization has greatly increased market competition. Global competition lead to high quality item. The improved quality of both product and service is based on consumer demand and service production methodologies. Positive impact of globalization is seen in increased cross-border trade. Honda Corporation has merged as a result of globalization. Negative impact is job insecurity. People in developed countries like Japan face employment insecurity. Manufacturing and white-collar jobs have been outsourced to developing countries because of low labor costs to increase revenue. Next, environmental issue. The uncontrolled use of raw material has an impact on Earth future, associated with several major environmental positive and negative impact of globalization on the Proton and Malaysia. Positive impact. Technology. When multinational corporations establish a subsidiary in new place, they transfer knowledge from their parent company to the local operation. The migration of individuals inside multinational corporation is one method that business utilize to transmit. In education, it has both access to higher education, such as university, and has helped developing countries close the knowledge gap. Negative impact. Policy in some situations is provide opportunity for developing country, but it also expand the gap between global cooperation and traditional industry.
Now let's look at the regional integration that Japan and Malaysia belong to. To start, Japan are one of the members of APEC, or known as Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, while Malaysia are one of the members of ASEAN, known as the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Both integrations are very identical as they classify as free trade areas. So, what makes them different from each other? Well, the answer is the purpose of formation. Originally, APEC was created to increase investment and boosting the connectiveness of the supply chain at borders. On the other hand, ASEAN originally created to preserve peace and stability in Southeast Asia, for justice and the rule of law according to the principle of the United Nations. Next, what is the benefit of regional integration to country and company? For Japan, it has increased the expansion of Japan firms to international market. For example, Honda able to build a lot of their manufacture company in Southeast Asia. This also benefit to Honda as it can lower the cost of production in the Asia market. For Malaysia, ASEAN has smoothed the process of goods and service to flow across ASEAN itself. Due to this event, it has provided a good indicator for outside firms to invest in Malaysia. As for Proton, with the help of ASEAN, Proton able to build a partnership with international firms easily and increase their technology assumption to produce a high quality vehicle.
As for the trading between home and host countries based on the automotive industry, total of 6.85 billion USD, around 28.77 billion in ringgit Malaysia. It is evident from these numbers that the Malaysian market for Japanese automobiles and automobiles built in Japan is highly popular and very competitive. The veracity of this information is without doubt, as shown by the majority of nations' perceptions regarding Honda's reputation and the total revenue earned every year in Malaysia. Related to the trade pattern of previous decades, Japanese imported most of the transportation and essential automotive equipment from Malaysia. As for the demand for Malaysian automobiles, there is no strong indication that Japanese citizens need Malaysian cars due to the quality of the product that was produced by their giant automotive company, since there are no demands and revenue even if they enter the market.
Next, we are going to assess the trade protectionism imposed by Malaysia on the industry of both local and foreign companies. In general, trade protectionism is a policy that uses tariff, subsidies, import quotas, or other limitations on foreign competitors' imports to protect home industry from international competition. Malaysia has significantly decreased tariff on import from its Asian Free Trade Agreement allies. It is also pledged to lower tariff on virtually all imports, including automobile products. The Malaysian government also implements extensive tariff barriers to protect Proton and give it a competitive advantage over rival car makers. For example, import tariff on complete build-up and complete knockdown vehicles. Other than that, Proton chose to form a joint venture with Mitsubishi to reduce R&D expenditures and allowed the company to produce automobiles under its brand. Car purchases are unaffected by Malaysia's trade policy because Honda Motor Company sells both imported and locally assembled units in Malaysia. Furthermore, Honda has 21% market share and is one of Malaysia's best-selling foreign brands. Next, we are going to describe the collaborative arrangements that are established by the two companies. The Asian India and Asian China has formed an agreement to expand automotive trade between the Asian, Indian and Chinese auto industries. Automobiles and components built in China and India will eventually be allowed to ship to Asian countries with zero import duties and vice versa. Lastly, Honda was formed in November 2000 as a joint venture between three companies, which are Honda, DRB Highcom, and Oriental Holdings.